News Radio 850 KOA.
550 on 850 KOA. This is Colorado's Morning News. I'm Stephen Tubbs. Thanks so much for joining us online as well at 850KOA.com. If you're heading on vacation, whether it's this week for spring break, couple of days off, or you travel for the weekend, don't forget to download the iHeartRadio app on your smartphone. How easy is it to compromise a home security system? Let's get into that with Butch Davis. He's a security expert, president of Omni-Watch out of Dallas. Good morning, Butch. Welcome to Colorado's Morning News.
Good morning, Stephen. Glad to be there.
Let's talk about, a lot of people hear about, protect your home and install this system and you'll have it monitored and all of that. Are these actually hackable? Tell us about it.
They absolutely are. There was an article earlier this week that I read where a large retailer, one of the ones that was hacked into over the Christmas holidays and got all of the credit card information, the hackers actually entered through a smartphone app connected to their air conditioning system. So if the large retailers can have that happen, certainly we can have it happen in our home.
Now, you're a security expert. I'm not. So how does this actually happen?
Well, what happens when we have internet installed at home, the provider always puts in a system that includes something called a firewall. And that firewall is designed, think of it as a series of doors. It's a wall with a series of doors that open, letting things out from behind the firewall, but not letting things in. And when we install in the security industry, we install devices that allow us to turn the alarm system off and on, or see a camera, or control a thermostat or a light, or anything like that. We have to open what we call ports or doors. We have to change that door where it lets things in as well as out. The problem in the industry is that most of these devices, they don't think it all the way through. There's not a lot of security put in to keep things out of that openable door. And that's how the bad guys get in. They put software out there that's called sniffers that finds that weak spot in the firewall, penetrate in, and then once in, it puts other software in your system that will actually send your data out to the outside world.
Now, there are big security companies, as you know. ADT is one that pops to my mind, where that's got to be a multi-million-dollar company every single year, and installing these systems and surveillance and all of that. Are those kinds of companies on top of this to make sure that this is not actually going to happen to their customers?
Well, unfortunately, even the providers like Comcast and AT&T that do the internet and telephone installations don't always look at all of the aspects of the system to see if it's completely locked down and secure. They're not intentionally coming out there to do harm to you, but it's just one of those things. It was a good intention that went sideways.
Yeah, how are we able to then better protect ourselves? I mean, I wouldn't have the first clue as to how to beef up my firewall, for example.
Well, the first thing that you need to do, there are some products and services out there that use what we call push technology. And push technology is a phrase that simply means that instead of having to reach from the outside through your door to get information out like you do with most of the systems on the market, it sends the information. It's programmed to actually send the information through your one-way door. The device itself transmits the signal. Our company uses a camera system that is based on push technology. The cameras hook up to a little transmitter. The transmitter is programmed to send data to my data center in the cloud. And then the consumer always looks at my system on the cloud as opposed to coming back into their own domain. Those type systems are rare, but they're out there. The other thing that you need to keep in mind is if you're going to access your alarm system via your phone, keep the connection out of your internet connection. Keep it out of your network. Either put in a separate connection or do it. There's some devices out there that are programmed to do it over a cell phone communicator. The cell phone communicator sends the alarm signals to a central monitoring station, and your connection goes back to the central station. So it creates what's called a virtual private network, or a VPN. And as long as you do it that way, you're safe. The problem is most of the companies out there don't do that.
Yeah, I guess that part of it makes sense. Let me ask you, Butch, since you're a security expert, in the minute that we have left, how have you followed the incredible data breach from Target? And it seems like as companies get smarter and try to prevent this, unfortunately, the bad guys are getting just as smart.
Yes, the bad guys have a way of keeping up and even keeping ahead sometimes of what we develop on the backside to keep them out. And it's going to be a constant, ongoing battle. The one thing that you need to bear in mind is before you make a decision as a consumer to put that smart device in is, do I really need it, and how often am I going to use it? Because every time you make security convenient, it becomes less secure.
Butch, great to talk with you, and very interesting insight. Thanks so much.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you. Butch Davis, president of Omni-Watch, based in Dallas. We're just 90 seconds away. We'll talk Wall Street numbers and more money news with Craig Moss coming up.